was a huge weekend here, 4th of July weekend. And they came into Missouri and had a gig in St. Louis and stayed at, I believe, the drummer's aunt's house. And he got up that morning and he went out to the shed and got snake bit.
It was a copperhead that big, which was later slayed by our drummer using 2 cans of Raid and a weed whip.
By a copperhead in the foot.
And they took me to the emergency room there, and I said I needed to have the anti-venom, but it would take 14 hours to administer it to me. Is that the right word? Anyway, I told them I couldn't do that. I had a gig.
I got a phone call from the hospital, and of course it was bad news, and I'm thinking there's no way in the world he'll be able to make it.
And we didn't have, if we didn't play the gig, we wouldn't have enough gas money to get back to Texas. So
He left the hospital, called me and said, "Don't replace us tonight, I'm gonna be there."
I left the hospital against medical advice, they call it AMA. And the doctor told me that, he said, well, people have been surviving snake bites for thousands of years. He said, of course, they've been dying from them too.
And against doctor's orders, he left the hospital, called me, and said he was on his way. And I was shocked because when you're from around here, you know how serious copperhead bites can be.
By the time I got down here, my legs had swollen up 3 times the size.
And I was blown away that he made it down here and he played the whole night. Most of the time he had to sit in a chair.
And then they rushed me, carried me off stage, rushed me to the emergency room.
With the mic in your hand?
Yeah, guitar. I was born standing up with a guitar in my hand. But anyway, we walk in and the doctor tells me, oh yeah, you're gonna lose them legs. I said, what?
By the end of the concert that evening, and everybody was super happy and cheering, and he acted like nothing was wrong. But as soon as the show was over, they rushed him back to the hospital.
They said, you need the anti-venom. Of course, they didn't have the anti-venom down here in snake country. Makes no sense to me. So they took me 100 miles an hour in an ambulance back to St. Louis. I went in, I said, it's just a little baby. He goes, those are the worst. They don't know how to control their venom. And sure enough, the funny thing is I got bit twice by the same snake. Try that.
And was in the hospital very seriously ill for quite some time after that. But the show must go on, and he's a true believer in that. That's another reason I love him.